Yo guys, what's going on? We're going to be talking about MSPs today. We're slowing down, coming to the end, and why not just talk about MSPs, the path they went on, how many they built of each team. We're not going to talk about every single team and every single MSP, but what we will talk about is left-handed over right-handed. Who won that category? The positions, who won that category? And out of every NHL team, who was the most built? Leave in the comment section down below, guys. Handedness, who you think out of the two. Position, what you think was the most and least built position, and teams, what do you think were the favorite teams in NHL 24 HUT? So let's dive into it. I hope you do enjoy it. If you do, hit that thumbs up. But hey, who was the most built MSP? So naturally, I'll just flip around and we'll look at a bunch of different stuff as we talk about it. And why not just stop in on the free agency? So as we flip through here, free agency was good. It had a balance of everything, but the most built handed player was the left-handed player. Left-handed players had 119 MSPs when right-handed players only had 69. That's almost double of the left-handed players over the right-handed players. So if you're wondering why it felt like right-handed players were harder to come by, maybe it's because they built less of them. Now, I'm sure the easiest thing for you to think of when it comes to position, and probably the most predicted one in the comment section, if you guys put down in the comment section who you think is what, center would probably be the most predicted position, as it was and as it should be, right? We got a lot of centers to go over, and a lot of centers that you can use in other positions that are just as helpful. But to bring it down to the final number, there was 61 centers built this year. So far, there's still MSPs to come out. This is still halfway through preseason week 2, part 2, whatever we're calling it. But yeah, so 61 centers, but then followed up is left wing. Left wing had 36 players in total built, and that would be the second most position. Now, knowing that there was more left-handed than right-handed players built, you could probably assume that left D was the third most built position, which it was. Out of all the positions, it went center, left wing, then left D, leaving the right wing, right D for the last two, and then goalies. These were the most built positions, and it falls with the handedness being the most built as well. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of right D and right wingers built if there's not very many right-handed players built. So those are the top positions built, goalie being the least at 21, and then right D at 26 being the second least. So positions scattered all over the place, but the dominant one easily will be center. Now, coming in at the most built team for MSPs is going to be the New York Rangers. Now, the New York Rangers had 10 MSPs, and I didn't count anybody that was dedicated to their nationality, like in Nations of Hockey. I didn't count that to their teams because they were for something else. And I did count their handedness and their position, same as the female players, but I didn't count any of those. So American players, female American players, none of them made this list other than their position and their handedness. So with that being said, the New York Rangers will come in first at 10 MSPs built. Tying first with the New York Rangers at 10 as well is the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado had a ton of MSPs, as they should. Stanley Cup winning team, huge competitor, a lot of big names on this team that are exciting names, and a lot of cards that are built well for HUT. So you got to remember, when they're picking their MSPs, they got to pick popular teams, competitive teams, exciting players, and well-built players for HUT. And Colorado fits a lot of those builds. Now, coming in third or second, if you want to go with second because we had a two-way tie, coming in third with the Edmonton Oilers being a solo team that had 9 MSPs built. And I'm going to just show off Connor McDavid here because why not? He's the reason. He's the reason why Edmonton gets so many cards. And their history in the 80s is why they get so many MSPs as well. So Edmonton, 9 total MSPs, taking in third place. Now, this is a 3-way tie between the next teams, and it is all at 8 MSPs, one being the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks had 8 MSPs total, Alex Burrows being one of them. They had a run through the entire year of every event, every other event, getting an MSP sprinkled through there. They kept the Vancouver players up, and it was exciting. And, well, I mean, EA's in Vancouver, so if you want to go biased, we can, but a lot of Vancouver players. And then another team with 8 MSPs is Toronto, as it should be, not only with my biased opinion of being a huge Toronto fan, but Toronto is one of the biggest fan bases in the NHL, if not the biggest fan base. We don't need to get into that topic because there's people that sway different ways, but it is the biggest fan base in the NHL. So with that being said, to hit popularity on that, you are going to just build a lot of those MSPs. And they've been in the league a very long time. So alumni Leaf players are very easy to build as MSPs as well, as we've seen this year with a lot of them. But Toronto is tied with 8 MSPs. Now, this one here was unfortunate. I really didn't want to bring them up, but we can't steer away from the fact that Boston also had 8 MSPs. And again, for the same reasons as Toronto, slightly not as big of a fan base, but a big fan base nonetheless. So a popular team to build, been in the league forever, you know, pretty basic way of saying that. And a lot of very good players have been through Boston. Not as many good as Toronto, but a lot of good players have been through Boston. I'm joking. Don't put anything down in the comments about that. But Boston has 8, as they are a very good team with a big history, and a lot of great players have played there. Now, as for the last place team, the team that got the least amount of love in all of HUT, in all of NHL 24, what was the team that got the least amount of love? I know some people are going to say Utah's a team and they didn't get any cards. Utah's Arizona. They just moved, so Arizona got cards and they still beat out Seattle. Seattle had 3 MSPs, and they are the least represented MSP team in the league. So if you didn't know, now you know. I am going to bring this team up because people say that New Jersey always gets the most MSPs, and New Jersey always gets the most love out of EA Sports. But this year, New Jersey didn't. They're middle of the pack with 7, and I say middle of the pack because a lot of teams got 6 to 7 MSPs. So we'll say New Jersey slides right into the middle of the pack. And yeah, not crazy love like everyone always says, but New Jersey it's floating around there. Thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. This video was more of just talking about the stuff that happened in NHL 24 and going over the events with what is the most standout position, players, and handedness. If that is everything you thought, put that in the comment section down below. Leave your opinion down below on what you thought was the most built team from what is the most built team or the position. Thank you guys for hanging out. Till next time. Ciao, ciao.